And could it be that A.J. Brown, who they gave up a lot of draft capital and stuff for, has the curse of the Eagles?
Brown and Hurts have been friends for a while. Workout buddies in the off season, get-togethers, kumbayas. Unfortunately for the Eagles, their friendship isn't translating into immediate chemistry.
Man, let me tell you something, man. A.J. Brown ain't nothing but a glorified number 2 wide receiver, man.
We all know this is really not about A.J. Brown. This is about Jalen Hurts. But let's take a look at A.J. Brown's press conference, and let's discern some things from what he told us here. What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, Division Rivals? This is Steven Hyder, Gate City Sports Channel. The sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Hey, what's good, guys? This is maybe the first, second, third time you caught my content and you enjoyed today's discussion. I should do me a huge solid here, guys. Hit that subscribe button. We just crossed over 5,000 subscribers. We're heading towards 10,000. I'd love to be a part of that equation. Small G subscribers, just keep hitting that like button. Keep smashing the thumbs up. Help me spike the algorithm and get this in front of new people that we could potentially convert into our own little community here. All right, y'all. Today's topic, listen, we're just going to go ahead. We're going to watch A.J. Brown's press conference, and I'm going to react to it. I'm going to give you my thoughts about this whole issue of, failure to have chemistry and all this stuff about OTAs, which, I mean, let's be real, guys. Like, I'm not saying it's without meaning. It means that there's some work to be done. But nonetheless, like, it's too early for this stuff, guys. People are just overreacting, in my opinion.
Away from that.
If you think about playing with Julio last year, or Davis, even going back to DK, what's the importance of the receiver on the other side of you, and how does that help you?
It takes the pressure off the other guy. Like just say we're playing, and I probably take Slay because he's cornerback number 1 or whatever, and I go against him, and that gives another really talented receiver to go against a cornerback number 2. So it takes pressure. In my opinion, Smitty is a wide receiver 1, and he going against a cornerback number 2. Like, I expect Smitty to dominate, And so just taking pressure off each other, and even being on the same size, so you can't really double, or so just that's great having another great wide out beside you.
100%. I mean, I think we've all been saying the same thing here, is that the great thing about having Devontae Smith with A.J. Brown is I don't care who you label as the number 1 receiver. We can go off a definition and say whoever gets the lion's share of targets is going to be the de facto number 1 wide receiver. We can say, well, it'll be determined by the way teams scheme for the players that are on the field. Your opponents kind of dictate who the number 1 guy is, honestly. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I think both definitions, in my opinion, are quite acceptable. All I'm going to say is the same thing A.J. Brown just said. When you got dudes the caliber of A.J. Brown on one side, Devontae Smith on the other, Dallas Goedert working, either in line or, out of the backfield even, or in the slot. And then you got a guy like Quez Watkins if you're in 11-man personnel, and you got that, true slot receiver. I'm just going to say we're in a good place. And I've heard the talk. I've heard the chatter. One of the young men, he's pretty new, I think, to YouTube. He doesn't have a massive following yet, so I'll link his channel down below. He's a Cowboys content creator. In his opinion, he said that he feels comfortable one-on-one with A.J. Brown.
Be like, oh, man, we got A.J. Brown this week. We got a double cover. Hell no, man. I'm going to sit over there, man, and one-on-one that, man. I ain't even going to lie.
Hey, people's opinions are their opinions. I'm not going to argue with somebody over their opinion. What I'm going to say is that my opinion is in the opposite direction here and say that, yeah, I also feel pretty comfortable with A.J. Brown one-on-one. I really trust A.J. Brown one-on-one. The guy was like number 4 overall versus man coverage last year. In terms of yards per route run, if we want to judge his production, he was number 5 overall this past year. In the year prior, he was like number 2. He's productive, and he beats man coverage. And look, I'm not taking shots at people because I know the story. I know the full story, guys. If you look at yards above replacement, which is a metric that gets done through DVOA, and it takes into account the defense you're playing, where you're catching the ball against, what scheme, man zone, all those type of things. It takes into effect like how difficult your production is. And coming out of something that's highly scripted, such as a play action type offense, which we covered in yesterday's video. Link will be at the end of this video, guys, if you want to see that one. It's a really long form where I went over what Kurt Warner said about A.J. Brown. I'm just going to say it straightforward. Yeah, I mean, he ranked like 40-something, 42nd, I think, in terms of yards above replacement. So I understand that some people are skeptical. I get it. You could say that it's a scheme fit thing. Well, I'm going to say I think he's a pretty good scheme fit here in Philadelphia. Personally, that's what I think, but, will it be proven right or will it be proven wrong? We'll see.
What's your conversation? What kind of conversations did you have with him?
With Smitty?
Yeah.
I'm always trying to help him out as much as I can, and we learning from each other and just trying to just pour my game into him, what he can learn, and whenever he mess up on something, I try to give my advice on it, just try to, like I said, give my advice.
You said you think he's like a number one.
Yes, I do.
But number two now. Why do you think he's number one?
What? Because like I said earlier, he's a really good route runner. Guys early on in their career, like first year, year two, they're still developing. And he can run every route in the route tree. So it's just a little few nuances, little things that of course, that we all can get better at, and that just keep tuning up our game and keep developing. So I think the sky's the limit for Smitty. So I'm excited for him year two. I'm excited the step he takes.
So 2 questions that were kind of back to back there that I'll just kind of go over here for just a few seconds, guys. Number one, he was asked about his leadership, right? Mentorship with a young player. Quez Watkins also kind of a young guy, although he's only like a year or so behind A.J. Brown. The thing to remember is all these dudes are young. It's just that A.J. Brown has played a lot and been productive. It's very important to know that you have receivers that will be where you want them to be. And that's why I think some of this stuff is being overblown a little bit, is that A.J. Brown is coming into a system where the nomenclature might be the same, because he does discuss that here in a few minutes. But I think what he's trying to say is look, there's still subtle differences, right? There is some freedom on being allowed to play with. And we've got to get chemistry worked out between quarterback and wide receiver. We're going to get it worked out. I have no doubt about that. I have no fears about that. And then he kind of talked about what makes Devontae Smith, why this receiving core is going to be good. Devontae Smith can run the route tree. Devontae Smith is really good as a young receiver. He knows how to release off the line of scrimmage. Like I said, guys, I don't think this stuff is about Devontae Smith. I don't think this stuff is about A.J. Brown. I can read between the lines. This is about people taking shots at Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. And look, Jalen still's got to prove it. We're all out here. We know that. We know Jalen's got to prove it. I'm much higher on him than some Eagle fans are. And to be quite honest, I'm way higher on him than some of our division opponents are. I think Jalen Hurts is 100% going to prove it. And I do think this is a time to put your chips in. Take receipts. Take my receipt. I said Jalen Hurts is going to translate this year. He's going to be productive. He's going to be good. Take that receipt, because I'm surely taking receipts of others. I promise you. I'm recording all these receipts right now. But all right, let's keep going into the video. Let's hear what else he's got to say.
I saw Jalen hair it out a few times today. What do you like about a quarterback who can kind of push down the field and trust his wide receiver?
So today, the first one I had to break up on Slay, and the second one I told him, anything you do, just overthrow me. I'm gonna clear him late, as I did, and he overthrew me. So we're still working, and we're still trying to get on the same page, but we're really heading in the right direction. So it's a positive.
How about your game? I think it was PG said that if you get the ball in your hands, you're like a running back hard to bring down. Where does that come from? Did you play running back?
I play running back as Pee Wee football, but that just comes from me being fearless. I try my best to not let one guy tackle me, and if I see one guy, I gotta get past him. I'm not trying to create a highlight. I'm trying to score a touchdown. So that's I'm not trying to get a highlight reel. I'm trying to score. So however it may look, I get past him, still for him, run him over, whatever it is. I'm trying to score. That's my objective when I get the ball.
In terms of
There was 2 subsequent questions here. So the first question was really, we're talking about 2 passes, guys. All this controversy that is encircling OTAs. And let's be real. It's entertaining, guys. I mean, I'm not putting too much value into this stuff, but it is entertaining to it gives us something to talk about, no doubt about it. But with that said, guys, it is 2 passes against Darius Slay that is causing all this uproar. Okay? Play number 1 was, looks like he was either an in-breaking route or maybe a hitch or a sit-down route, and Darius Slay got in on it. I wasn't there. I didn't get to see it. I don't know the exact route, but just judging from the descriptions without them telling me exactly what happened, I don't know, guys. I mean, if we can find video footage of it, I'll take a look at it, but I have no clue. He had to break up a play for Darius Slay. Then the second one, he basically told Jalen Hurts, look, I'm going to clear Slay late, so just overthrow me and I'll catch up to it. He did clear him late, but it was just a little overthrown. He didn't catch up to the ball, actually. So there's some chemistry issues there. I mean, he's open, he's honest about it, he is talking about it. We'll see, guys. I mean, I'm not overly concerned about this stuff right now, but we'll see how it all kind of plays itself out.
The program itself, the way things are run, the coaching, how are things different here than in Tennessee?
Not to speak on Tennessee, but I won't answer that question. I'm not trying to throw nobody on the bus or none of that. So
A little bit lighter, the practice workload for the offseason?
it's pretty similar. It's pretty similar. I think I like how we run things here. Everything is organized and detailed. So
In terms of the offense, what are the key differences that you're picking up on between Tennessee's offense and what Philly's running?
like I said earlier, similar words, similar terms, but different meanings. So I'm trying to unlearn it each and every day. So I'm studying, and it takes time, and just trying to get splits right and everything. Just it's different. So I'm learning. I'm doing a great job at it. I pretty much think I learned the offense just in like a couple weeks. So.
Are you given a lot of freedom in terms of?
All right, so just a kind of quick subsequent questions here. First one, they were really talking about the Eagles. He took it more so about Tennessee. You could see that's a questioning of Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff's practice schedule, right? The condensed practice schedule where they're not doing, they're just really doing OTAs. They're not having like a true mini camp, if you will. It's more of these just small OTA window things that are in this early portion of June that we're now past officially. And, they were talking about the length of time for these things. And he said they're not that drastically different. I do think that if I remember correctly from what I've heard is that, a lot of teams that are very preventative towards injuries, right? So this whole thing comes from the Rams, guys. Ted Rath, whatever his name, Rathman, whatever. All this stuff comes from the Rams, all right? So Tennessee and some of these other clubs, they run, normally they're not going to go over 90 minutes or so. There'll be some special occasions here and there. The Eagles like to keep it to around an hour, maybe a little past an hour, so there probably is a slight difference, but it's not as big a difference as people think. I will say it gets harder though when you start getting into 11 on 11s and drills like that. It might be a little bit more difficult to keep it within under an hour and 15 minutes. I think that becomes more of a challenge personally. Just speaking as someone who's coached before, it's a little harder. But you can see he's talking about, he's trying not to take shots, but he's talking about the way that this coaching staff organizes the drills. He's a fan of it, if you will.
The route tree and deciding which route you run based upon the coverage versus, running a specific route based upon play call.
Jalen, he just kind of gave me a little freedom, and I'm just trying to just get on the same page with him. However I get there is the best way for him, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not out trying to double move people and do whatever, but I'm just trying to get open and be where my quarterback wants me to be.
Getting back to teammates, you still feel like the new guy?
You said off the field?
Off the field, hanging with teammates, do you still feel like the new guy, or are you at the point where you feel like you're a part of the group?
No, I feel like I'm a part. My first week, I definitely felt like I was a new guy, but the guys took me in and they welcomed me, so yeah.
All right, guys, so that was A.J. Brown's press conference. Towards the end there, I thought one thing that was of interest before I jump off of here was that question about, it was leading into the chemistry, right? And they're asking him about the freedom he has within routes, and he's telling them, Jalen gives me a little freedom. We got to work these things out, right? He's got to know that I'm going to be where he wants me to be in terms of the progression. He's got to let me shake free, and that takes timing, and that takes a little bit of chemistry between players. So like I said, guys, my opinion, this is really all about Jalen Hurts. This is not so much about A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, in my opinion. I can read between the lines. I know what people are saying. I get the gist of what's going on here. It's not hard to really discern that. All right, y'all, leave your comments down below. What do you think? What are your thoughts here, guys? Like I said, it's 2 plays, man. People are talking about 2 plays. Yeah, man, I mean, if you get into camp and you're deep into camp and you're still having these kind of errors and then you got a chemistry issue. Like, it's probably going to take some time. But these things normally get ironed out. I'm not really worried about it. I know the caliber of player that A.J. Brown is. I know the amount of work that Jalen Hurts has put in the offseason, and I know the trajectory of a guy like Devontae Smith. It's going up. I'm pretty confident. I'll put my chips on the table. This is one of the best offenses in the NFL right now. I'll put my chips on the table, guys. This is one of the best offenses in the NFL right now. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all's time and attention, guys. Don't forget to sub up if you haven't subbed and you enjoyed today's discussion. Other than that, guys, man, hey, yo, I really appreciate you guys, and see y'all on the next video.